Hello out there and good morning, traders. It is February 9th, 2024, and welcome to the Apteros Daily Market Insight. We'll start with a recap and update our levels for today. Taking a look at yesterday, we had a pretty dull day, actually. We had a line in the sand here. We were looking to the upside for scenario 1, downside for scenario 2. Didn't even need to look at scenario 2 throughout the session. Matter of fact, what we ended up seeing was a lot of very short inflections just ahead of our line in the sand. Just a very rotational day, kind of holding underneath our neutral reference here until about about mid afternoon, whenever we started to see this market continue to press to the upside and make some, trending type of behavior with some higher highs and higher lows. So that was kind of the story of the session. There really wasn't a line in the sand type of situation. So in other words, we never got a full test of our line in the sand. But scenario 1 was essentially what played out for the entirety of the day. And with our intraday tools, a lot of these lower inflections were nice spots to get long along with scenario 1. So that's what we were kind of paying attention to in the community. But overall in the session, no real line in the sand test, just scenario 1 kind of bias wise playing out to the upside, heading into our neutral destination area, which is where we're at now. So let's update our levels for today and take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so now taking a look at today, we have a couple of our lower time frames here being bullish. So we're monitoring both of those kind of ideas from two different locations. So we are going to have to kind of put some nuance in the DMI a little bit today, but here's the general idea, right, of what's going on here. If we get a pullback into this area here, this 50-15 area, we're looking for a possible inflection to the upside, and it looks like we're going to continue to rally here, possibly into our target, which is up here around the 50-44s. That's the overall stretch target, the overall destination. From there, it's wide open space up above, and we'll be monitoring that for trend following and so forth. So that's kind of what we're paying attention to there for the 50-44 area. Now that's from that first area, this first bullish reference. Now this is a lower reference in terms of ranking and distilling. So this is our main line in the sand for the overall bullish idea. This is the actual list for the day. So scenario 1 is going to be a hold up above that. Scenario 2 is going to be a breakdown below that. Scenario 1, if we do get the pullbacks, this is the first place you want to monitor for that scenario 1 inflection because it's the first place that has a biased base reference there. But if that breaks down, then you're going to want to hold off until you get into the line in the sand to act on inflections for scenarios 1 and 2. And that's what you're going to want to pay attention to in today's DMI. As we continue to move up here, you can see we're using neutral references for acceptance. So we can continue to move up with these particular references on pullbacks. They're not as strong as some of the ones with bias to them, but they are neutral areas nonetheless. So we can monitor those as we continue to accept above or below them. For that, taking a look at scenario 2, if we do end up seeing a breakdown for whatever reason, this market just continues to crash back through this. Scenario 2 is a great opportunity to the downside with neutral destinations along the way, but this is the overall destination here. So we'll be watching for that destination as the market kind of opens up and plays out for the session. Now, with a situation like this, right, where the market is kind of heading up into our target area already, what are we going to do? Well, we're just going to monitor the overall condition with scenario 1 and use these neutral levels for possible scalping opportunities along the way for anything to the upside. And it looks like we just reached our target. So now we're just monitoring essentially for the upside on these neutral levels. If the market doesn't give us an intraday opportunity along with these neutral levels, usually we stand aside. So we'll wait for a full pullback. And if we get that full pullback, then we'll start engaging with our line in the sand type of trading. If not, then we just continue to follow the trend from some of our time frames and monitor that for continuation. All right. That is the overall outlook for today. These are the two kind of target areas. This one to the short side, this one to the long side. This is our main line in the sand here. So that's the overall kind of landscape what we're seeing on the ES. You do see a lower area that's bullish on the higher time frame. If we do get down there, that's the idea, right? We're looking to hold up that area and then continue to use neutral references as we go up. If we get up above our target destination today, we're looking for kind of open space because we are now pressing all-time highs. So now that we're out here, you got to basically trend follow and monitor each individual kind of rotation. We do have ways to do that within the Nadro community. We have, references that are kind of dynamic and adjust with, forward-reaching targets and things like that. But, right now we're out at extremes and the market continues to rally. So that's what we're paying attention to contextually across the board. All right, so trade well out there. Mind your risk, pay attention because this whole entire scenario here, we've now just hit our overall destination. So it is a little bit more of a recency issue at this point, right? So this trade idea has kind of come and hit its target area, and now we're going to be monitoring it throughout the day, looking at recency as a main factor for this whole context, this whole narrative kind of weakening as the day goes forward. So just pay attention to that as the session develops here. We're going to be monitoring neutral areas, looking for good inflections off of those with some strong buying or selling power behind them. All right.